Welcome to the Hamzy Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Paulo Navarro. Today is Friday, July 6, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 1008. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 1062. There were 5 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 0 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 223,000 contracts traded on the VIX today with 27 million in total premiums paid. For the July dollar-weighted put-call ratio, we saw a 2.23 reading with 24% of the total premiums paid, a bullish reading. On August, we saw a 0.4 reading with 43% of the total premiums paid, a bearish reading. On September, we saw a 0.05 with 22% of the premiums paid, a really bearish reading. Okay, I'm going to start today with the ES chart. Here we have a 30-minute chart. As you can see here, the number came out here. We had a bought number. We started selling off pretty hard, and after that, market opened here. We started making a couple of new lows throughout the day until one, and after that, we just bounced and finishing almost flat for the day of the intraday action here. So you can see here. So we recouped all of these lows that we made throughout the day on the last 2 hours, but still we're down quite a bit for the day. Just wanted you to check the intraday action here for ES. Now looking at SPX, we could see here. Let's go to the daily chart. We have a big red candle here. 12, almost 13 handles down, almost 1%. We bounced off the lows as I mentioned, but still going lower. You could see one thing we could see here. We're making a couple of higher highs, but again, not positive today after the numbers came in lighter than we were expecting. If you look here, we could draw a trend line here, which would take us to the 1338 level. That would be some support of a short-term trend, the uptrend that we're building right now. But it's gonna be critical, this 0.6 line at 1339, 1340. That's gonna be critical for us to hold for the upside. We go to the weekly chart on SPX. You can see here one bearish thing. We failed to close above the 0.6 line. We broke it on the intra-week and then bounced back lower, closing below it. So again, as you can see here on the weekly chart, we're starting to make lower highs, opposite as on the daily chart. So we're gonna see what the next week brings. Again, bearish on the weekly chart, somewhat bullish before 1340 on the daily chart. For GLD, we're gonna look at the gold futures first, so we could see what happened on the non-farm payrolls. Pretty interesting action here. Gold futures, you could see here. Gold futures were down right now before the number came out. When the number came, they popped so high that we broke their overnight highs and went to yesterday's high, failed pretty fast, and then just sold off even lower than we were. 26 points down for gold futures today. You could see here we started making a couple of lows, and then we bounced back somewhat of the lows. That was gold futures today. We're down 1.8%. We're gonna watch GLD to get some targets here. On the daily chart, you can see here that 1.35% lower. We broke 0.6 line to the downside. We're gonna see what happens here, but again, looking for the 149 level on the downside test and break that lower support that's been for 4 times already, and we've been talking about it daily. But another important thing here was the retracement on the weekly chart. You can see this big reversal. Failing again at the 0.6 line, pretty much same as 2 weeks ago when we failed here at the 0.6 line. Now we're failing again, finishing at the lows of the week. Pretty weak action here on gold for the weekly chart. Another interesting view here on gold. We are seeing here that we are again approaching the 150-week moving average at 150.28. This would be the fifth time we test this line here. So again, it's gonna be critical to see what happens here. Last time we jumped higher only because of the European Union news, but we're not gonna be having that this time. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe breaking that will take us lower. On the daily chart, interesting here on gold, we have made a couple of lower lows here. You can see this trend line that I'm drawing here so far. We're making lower highs, each time, almost since we started the decline, making a couple of, we make here a peak, and then started lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower high. So again, some bearish sign here on the metal, but we have to see what happens on the 150-week moving average. If we break that, we'll have a big bearish trend here forming right now. Last chart we're gonna look at, the VIX. Here we have the daily chart for the VIX. We have an outside bar here on the daily VIX. We closed at 1710. Pretty interesting action here. We were down on the VIX with a huge down day. So we're gonna see what happens. Maybe because of the uncertainty of the jobs, volatility came somewhat down, but still an outside day on a down day on the market. This is interesting to see how it's gonna play out next week. You could see here CI pointing lower, CI is building momentum to the downside, and everything here, the 0.6 line now lower. On the weekly chart for the VIX, we closed again on the below the 0.6 line. We closed below here the 0.6 line again. This is the third consecutive week that we've been doing this. So here, as I was saying here on the VIX, you could see here this is the third consecutive close below the 0.6 line. Now we're having a downtrend here, 1710 positive here on the trend line. You could see CI now pointing lower, which is good for the stock market, and here CI is now increasing to the downside. Again, pretty weird action today. VIX going lower, market going lower so much. So we'll have to see how it plays out Monday. Maybe it was because of the uncertainty of the volatility of the non-farm, but we just have to see how it plays out. This is for the charts today. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your Hamsi Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday.